Hello and welcome to this month's Roundtable September. Yay, it's beautiful out. We love it. It's good camping weather. My name is Angelique Minette and I'm Ishkote's Roundtable Commissioner.
And I'm Esmeralda Bonk, and I am Wapila Nasfa's Roundtable Commissioner. And welcome to September Roundtable. We're so excited, because there's nothing else to be excited about because of Roundtable. Sorry.
All right, let's
children all day.
Let's get started, Ez.
All right, sounds good. Let's move on. All right. Please prepare yourself for the pledge, oath, and law.
Those in uniform, please salute. Those who are not, put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Excellent. Whoops. So our prayer is a prayer for America, and it's from the Unitarian Universalists. It's a fairly long one, but we do have someone who is reading it for us. This is Chris Pride. He is the District Commissioner for Wapila District. Please prepare yourself in the manner you feel comfortable.
Music. Titled A Prayer for America by Tamara Levac. God of many names, you who has endowed us with the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, let us remember this day that in this country there is no national religion, there is no superior race, there is no preferred gender or orientation. We gather holding a common value that the glory of this country rests first and foremost in its diversity. Out of many ideas, out of many beliefs, out of many views, out of many voices, out of many passions, out of many experiences, we are one. Help us, O God, to never forget that we need not be alike to live and love alike. We ask for forgiveness this day for our national and individual transgressions, when we have chosen inaction or silence in the face of injustice, an abuse of power, and our failure to claim our own. We ask for forgiveness for when we have not known our neighbor, fed or hungry, or equipped our future generation with knowledge and love. We ask for a blessing on this nation, according to our own faith and forms, and pledge our voice in support of moving closer and closer to freedom. These, and the prayers of our hearts, we pray now in the silence. In the names of those who have come before, and those who are yet to be, in the names of all the helpers of humankind. Amen.
Thank you so much. All right. This month, we are promoting the Hispanic Heritage Month. We celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month to recognize the achievements and contributions of Hispanic Americans, who have inspired others to achieve success. National Hispanic Heritage Month is celebrated from September 15th to October 15th. It is split between 2 months as it is tied with Independence Day celebrations for several Central American countries. The observations started in 1968 as Hispanic Heritage Week under President Lyndon Johnson. It was expanded by President Ronald Reagan in 1988 to cover a 30-day period. It was enacted into law on August 17th, 1988. Each year they have a theme. This year's theme is Unidos, meaning unified, inclusivity for a stronger nation. We have our info minute.
All right, so give me a moment to cue that up and hopefully it'll work this time. In the meantime, I want to thank everybody who came to our in-person roundtable. We had a lot of fun. We enjoyed some delicious food. We had some fun and fabulous prizes. All right. And of course, the beta testing of the Zoom that made my floating head for Info Minute is not working anymore. So we are going to go without the fun and fabulous slideshow that I prepared. Oh, bummer. So first things first, you guys may have heard some stuff about charters that are the Catholic Church. The Diocese of Joliet has enacted some restrictions for youth programming that is run by the diocese. So anything that is run by the diocese, they will only allow overnight camping or overnight activities for high school age kids. Unfortunately, scouting that is chartered by a Catholic church is included in this new rule. And of course, my dog is going to bark. Thank you, dog. So unfortunately, they have said that if you have scouts who are, say, in 6th or 7th or 8th grade in your troop, who they are not allowed to camp as of October 7th, which is, you know, next month. So right now, council is dealing with that, trying to figure it all out. So please be patient while we figure out how this is going to be handled. I know there are going to be some meetings. I know there already have been meetings, but this is what the diocese has said. And right now we're just waiting for more information. Those of you with Methodist Church charters, they're still working on that whole mess. Just so everybody knows that the time limit has now been extended to a full charter year. So if there's no deadline coming up just any moment now, like there was before, you do have till the recharter time to figure that out. So be patient. Again, we're figuring that out. I'm sure if you're in Methodist Church charter, you've already have that being discussed with you. But so problems, we'll figure them out. We'll be flexible, Semper Gumby, you know, be flexible. We'll figure it out. Scouting will go on. And we'll move forward. All right, now on to better news. Okay, Rainbow Council Family Camp is coming up September 16th through 18th at RSR for Cub Scouts and their families. The theme is medieval times and costuming is very much encouraged. So family camp is a wonderful and unique way to introduce your scout and your family to camping. There are going to be all kinds of fun activities like fishing and games and shooting sports and a campfire and goggle ball. And there is a at the door registration available. So make sure you are signing up on the council website. And just a reminder, Cub Scout families, medical form A and B is required for everybody attending, including adults and scouts. They're also looking for some troops who would like to help with that. So if you've got some free time, please pass it along to your troops to help run some events. BSA Leave No Trace Trainer is coming up September 17th and 18th, and it's all for all registered scouts 14 years or older and any adult volunteers. So this course is going to be held at RSR, and participants are going to receive hands-on training on the Leave No Trace skills and 7 principles. This is a front country camping experience, so it's not like backpacking. It's not like you have to go out in the woods. You get to use the kibos or the slushies. And it's going to include a short hike. So if you have mobility issues, let them know. So this course, the unique thing about the Leave No Trace Trainer course is that it's a nationally recognized course and it's entered into your official BSA training record. And it prepares you to teach outdoor ethics classes to your unit, in council, out of council, and also it is recognized outside of scouting. So Leave No Trace Trainer is something that you can do outside of scouting with other organizations, and you can say, I am a trained Leave No Trace trainer. Very cool. AOL Overnight is open to Webelos and AOL Cub Scouts and also Scouts BSA members. It runs Saturday, September 24th through the 25th. The theme is the Webelos Wizarding World. And this camporee is an opportunity to work on the required and elective adventures for Webelos who are transitioning into Scouts BSA. Troops, we very much need you to help run activities and demonstrate the patrol method for those Cub Scouts. The best part is if you are camping as a troop, it is free. For Cubs, it is $35 per Webelow or AOL Scouts. For adults, it's $15 per adult. And for troops, it is free. So please come have a good time, help the Webelows understand what a troop is like. It's good stuff. It's good recruiting too. Wapakon Lodge is hosting their annual Heritage Hike on I&M Canal in October, on October 1st. This is open to everyone, families, friends, and scouts between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. They will take you along a hike on the I&M Canal up to 5 miles round trip at your own pace. No special equipment is needed for the limestone trail, but dress for the weather. The hike begins at Rainbow Council Service Center in Lockport. It's behind the council office. Check in at the table located in the parking lot next to the Illinois State Museum Lockport Gallery. And everyone is invited to enjoy this free event, but it is $5 to register online if you would like the patch. And I've been told it is a very special ghost patch. And Michael Rozick has asked, are these events on the Rainbow Council calendar? Yes, they are all available on the calendar to register. So if you are interested in registering, they are all there. Blue is coming up. It's a 1.5-day introduction to the Cub Scout outdoor program for pack leaders interested in offering a camping component. You do have to have someone who is a Blue trained to take your Cub Scouts camping. This training consists of an online portion that has to be done ahead of time, and then the in-person overnight camping experience that provides hands-on practical skills. Yes, the overnight portion is required. The training, it will be held at RSR on October 1st through 2nd, and the early bird registration is still open just for a couple days, and it costs $35. And Becky says she's looking forward to Blue. Woohoo! I love Blue. Blue is a lot of fun. So good. I'm glad someone's going. All right. The Scout, this is fun and exciting. The Scout Family Fall Fest at Dollinger Farm in Shanahan is October 1st from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. So Dollingers are super supporters of Scouting. We love them. The cost is $10 per person and includes a variety of fun fall activities. It's inclusive. It includes the corn maze. It includes the petting zoo. It includes a pizza lunch and more. There's lots to do. So if you're looking for a fun fall thing to do with your family, all ages, please don't miss out on that. Okay. Scouting for Food is a council-wide food drive that's conducted over 2 days in the first 3 weeks of November. Scouting for Food is designed for Scout units and family members to work in their respective communities supporting local food pantries. So there is more information about that on the website, on the council's website, but just wanted to let everybody know that tentatively right now, the bag pickup is Monday, October 3rd. But watch Facebook and the council calendar for more information because sometimes that changes a little depending on transportation and availability. And I see Melissa is dropping all those links into the chat because she's awesome. Thank you, Melissa. Adventure On Day, which we'll probably hear more from Melissa, is Saturday, October 15th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it's for all new Scouts who have joined Scouting since June of 2022 and their families and the Scouts who recruited them. So there are going to be all kinds of fun things to do at RSR, including things like climbing and BB guns and archeries and more. And this event is free for those Scouts. Okay, a couple more. JOTA, Jamboree on the Air, is the world's largest scouting event. And our location for our JOTA activities are going to be held September 15th at Hamel Woods in Shorewood. So JOTA uses amateur radio to link Scouts around the world. Pretty cool. You get to talk with Scouts all over the world. Scouts of all ages, from Cubs up through venturing, are welcome to participate in the free hands-on activities that are going to be at our site. There's also Jamboree on the Internet, which runs concurrently with Jamboree on the Air. So instead of having ham radio, it is done with online. Cool stuff. It's also a prerequisite for a variety of achievements for Cub Scouts and Scouts BSA. So it's a good thing to check out. If you can, it's also a lot of fun. Fall Camporee for Scouts BSA is set for October 7th through 9th right now. But right now we don't have any troops who have volunteered to run it. So if you're not familiar with Fall Camporee, it is run by a troop. It's not terribly hard work. The troop plans some events, it plans a theme, some events or competitions for the Scouts to participate in, and a campfire program. If your troop is interested in helping coordinate, or if you want to have 2 troops work together, or even 3 troops work together to plan Fall Camporee, we need you. We can't do it without you. It won't happen if we don't have a troop step up to lead it. On that note, Charlie, who you may have seen online or got an email from recently, Charlie is a volunteer, just like me, just like Ez, just like you. He has volunteered to step up and run programming for Rainbow Council. So he is responsible for almost all of the events that are run in our council, from everything from Cub Scouts to Scouts BSA, all the camporees, all the wintertime stuff, all the fun things. And it is not something that one person can possibly do. He relies on organizing other volunteers to help set them up. He makes sure they know what they need to do and then gets them going. If you are at all thinking if there's a way that you could help, talk to Charlie. You don't have to run a whole event. You could just run like one station, but he needs your help. Otherwise, these fun things that we like to do aren't going to happen. And finally, one more thing. Den Chief training is coming up on Sunday, October 16th at RSR for Scouts BSA members who would like to become mentors for Cub Scout packs. Den leaders, this is new, den leaders, tell your den leaders, are also encouraged to attend to learn how to use a den chief effectively. That's one of the things we hear. I don't know how to use a den chief. This is your day. The cost is $20 for youth and includes the Den Chief Handbook, or $10 for den leaders. And there are going to be lots of fun hands-on things. They've changed the format of the den leader training. So it's definitely something you'll want to send your scout to if you're a troop, and definitely something you'll want to encourage your den leaders to attend, because den chiefs can be an amazing thing for both the pack and the troop. And that is a lot of words. Thank you for listening.
Go take a drink of water.
I know, right?
All right, moving right along. Our law point for for this month is trustworthy. I love this quote. Trust takes years to build, seconds to break, and forever to repair. Keep that in mind. All right. Scout Leader Award Knot. That's you, Ange.
All right, so the Scout Leader Award Knot is the District Award of Merit. So this one is easily recognizable because it looks like a pretzel. It is the only one that looks like a pretzel, which is kind of fun. This is a knot. Hey, where'd it go?
Sorry,
there we go.
I actually hit a button, sorry.
This is a knot to award to registered scouters who render service of an outstanding nature at the district level. So someone who volunteers at your district. Nominations are due to the council office on November 1st. My guess is we'll start seeing the flyers soon to nominate people, at which point we'll make sure that they're posted up where everyone can see them. You cannot nominate yourself for a district award of merit. Well, you can, but you won't get it if you nominate yourself. It's something you want to nominate to someone else. It is awarded at the Council Recognition Dinner, which is a lot of fun. It is the dinner where we meet off-site and not in uniform, and we recognize all the people who have done awesome things for Rainbow Council in the past year. So keep an eye out for that and think about if there's someone who you would like to nominate for your district.
Thank you. All right. So this month's Cub Scout and Scouts BSA award is the same. So it is a recruiter patch. The only difference is that You can either get the red and white and blue one or the khaki and green one, depending on which one you want to get. It's super easy to earn. The recruiter strip has just one requirement: recruit a friend into scouting. And then you get to go to Adventure On and even more. So there's more incentives behind it. So this is for any youth member, Cub Scouts, Scouts VSA, Venturing, or Sea Scouts, who can get a friend or a classmate or relative to come sign up for scouting. And you can get this spiffy recruiter patch.
Spiffy.
Thank you. Each scout unit comes up with its own procedures on how do you award it. Most packs, troops, crews, and ships, the young person receives a strip the first time he or she successfully recruits someone in their unit. So go out and tell your scouts to start recruiting. Membership minute, Melissa.
My turn. So I will say before we start on this slide for anyway, hi, Melissa Rubik, membership VP. The recruiter patch D does require a name associated with it. So if your little scout Johnny recruits Bobby, it has to say Bobby on there, and you can only get it once. Adventure On Day, anybody who does anything in recruiting may come to Adventure On Day. So you can come every year to Adventure On Day on October 15th. See the council calendar for more information. And all your new scouts are invited as well for fall recruitment. But anyway, the membership minute for today is about our membership resources page. Did you know that the Rainbow Council membership team has worked hard to put together a resources page for all your membership needs? On the Rainbow Council website, choose About Membership and then the Rainbow Council Volunteer Resources. There, you'll see this page that has lots of templates for recruiting as well as retention. There's also free resources, including our customizable flyer request form, details on our current recruiting incentives like Adventure On Day, and instructions on using My.Scouting leads and application systems. At the bottom, you'll also find resources from National, including links to the BSA Brand Center, videos you can host on your unit website, and videos you can link to. This is also a living resource. If you have something you'd like to share or wish there was another resource, let us know.
Amazing. I did not know.
Well, you should know. Now you know. And there's a really, really cool calendar that I just posted and put a big post about. It's very cool, color-coded calendars right there. It's very exciting.
I love color coding. It's awesome. All right. Thank you, Melissa. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out or throw it in the chat. So our safety minute is on prohibitive activities. This is a very long, extensive list. So I'm not going to read all of it, and I know it's super small, but I will highlight a few things. Sometimes you just have to say no to an activity when you know the program of the Boy Scouts of America. So did you know there are activities and programs that should not be part of any scouting experience? Or that there are limits to when some activities should be introduced? How you can find out about them and why they are on the list or what this safety moment is about. First, ask this question. Is the activity in a handbook or other current literature of the Boy Scouts of America? If it is, great. Then you know it is part of the BSA program. Wait, it's not in a BSA handbook or literature? Then you need to ask, does it support the values of the Boy Scouts of America? If the activity helps to create good conduct, respect for others, and honesty, then most likely it is good to go. Note, values do not use fun, exciting, wilder, crazy, or faster as a test. Nor do they include, we have always done it. The next test, is it age appropriate? For instance, by design, the program limits the use of throwing knives and tomahawks to youth in Scouts BSA and above, and limits the use of pocket knives in Cub Scouting to bears and above. A list of age-appropriate guidelines is in the appendix of the Guide to Safe Scouting. So the activity you want to do isn't in the handbook, but you think it supports the values of the BSA and appears to be age-appropriate? Here's the last test. Is it prohibited or unauthorized? Look at the list of prohibited activities in the Guide to Safe Scouting. So how does something get on the list? From time to time, cross-functional teams of volunteers and professional staffs are asked to evaluate programs or activities to incorporate into scouting. Sometimes it's a near miss, social media, or an actual incident that brings an activity forward to review. Other times it's a request for a new or revised program or merit badge. These requests are reviewed by a team using various risk assessment tools found in the Enterprise Risk Management Committee Guidebook. As of this writing, 22 activities are on the prohibited list. Prohibition, yes, include failing to deliver a program as designed or contained in our literature and common sense restrictions that include extreme sports, pyrotechnics, shooting or throwing at each other, and power tool use. The list is not comprehensive, but it serves as a definitive list of prohibited activities, and it offers a broad sense of what is not allowed as a scouting activity. In addition, our program literature outlines restrictions or age-appropriate activities. For example, the National Shooting Sports Manual has a list of restricted activities, including boomerangs, spears, crossbows, and blowguns. COPE literature restricts belaying. Finally, there are some activities that may be restricted at the unit level, but are allowed as part of a council level activity. These include all-terrain vehicles and personal watercraft use, and the pistol safety and marksmanship program for youth in the Scouts BSA. Additionally, certain activities are specifically authorized at high adventure bases, such as crossbows at the Summit Bashell Reserve and reloading ammunition at Philmont Scout Ranch. For more information and resources, please go ahead and go to scouting.org under health and safety, prohibited activities, or the guide to safe scouting, as always, your go-to. So these are the 22 listed. I had to condense. That's why it's kind of small. Not for anything, but one of the biggest things that I thought was kind of interesting is that there is no tree climbing. That is part of the wah, wah, wah. So all our scouts that are climbing trees anywhere is prohibited against guides to safe scouting. Flying, the use of hang gliders, ultralights, experimental aircrafts, or non-tethered hot air balloons, or flying in an aircraft as part of our search and rescue mission is prohibited. Extreme or action sports associated activities that involve an unusual high degree of risk. Let's see, what else I wanted to highlight.
Number 10, use of accelerants to start fires.
Yes, definitely a big one. Because that also looks
applies to colorful campfires.
Yes, it does.
Yes. Activities where participants strike at each other, and activities where participants shoot or throw objects at each other. That includes laser tags.
I threw my light at you. It is prohibited to throw light.
It is prohibited because it is the act of shooting.
Correct.
Where was the other one? Oh, water chugging and eating or drinking competitions such as chubby bunny and hot dog eating contests is prohibited. Hunting and intramural, interscholastic, or club sport competitions or activities. So, when in doubt, check your guide to safe guide to safe scouting. I can speak. All right, moving on.
Okay, general topic. This is me. I know, hi everybody. It's your favorite time of year. We're going to talk about recharter. You may think, Angie, why are we talking about recharter? It's September. Recharter is in December. Oh, but friends, you should be done with recharter by December. It happens in December, but you should be done with it by December. So we're going to start talking about it now because we are going to have the best recharter year ever. The least complicated, the quickest. It's going to happen, people. Just make me happy. It's going to happen. So let's talk about what needs to happen now in September. In September, you need to identify who your recharter champion is. So this is the person, you are going to give them this very fancy title, and they are your recharter champion, and they are the person who is going to be in charge of your recharter. It is a very fancy title, and you will have received emails probably from Chris and from Ryan, thank you. I knew his name, totally didn't forget it.
Bob.
And from Bob, you'll have received some lovely emails from them. Oh, look, they're popping it into the comments now to identify who your recharter champion is. So please let them know who your recharter champion is. Please let them know soon, now, if you're on this call, who that is. Make sure that everyone in your unit is in agreement who that person is, because unfortunately we've had happen before where some people have said, I'm the recharter champion, and then other people have said, no, I am. And they lock one another out of the system. So please don't be like that. And let's make sure that we have identified who that person is. If they are not one of your key three, then we're going to need to give them recharter champion rights in my.scouting. If you don't know how to do that, let us know. We will hook you up with the instructions on how to make them a delegate to do your recharter. Okay, so that's number one. You need to find your recharter champion. The other thing that you need to do right now is to, oh wait, we have an interesting question. Brenda would like to know, if we're chartered by a Catholic church, do we have to wait to figure out if we can find a new charter org? Okay, so regardless, we're figuring that out. That is like 24-hour-old information. So you can still figure out who your recharter champion is while we're trying to figure this out. So you still can figure out who's going to handle your recharter and some of these other things we're talking about. And as we have the information come up, we'll let you know. Okay, and that's exactly what Chris is saying. All right, so the next thing you need to do, besides identify your recharter champion, is to begin your membership inventory. Go on my.scouting and look at your roster. Is anybody missing? Is there someone in your unit who's not on your roster yet? That means that don't go buy a scout book, go to my.scouting and check your roster there. If there's someone missing, then you need to make sure you fill out an application for them so that they are registered with your troop or your pack or your crew. Check both your adults and your youth and make sure that that is up to date. It's also a good time to start looking at email addresses and addresses and phone numbers and see if they need to be changed or updated, because you'll need all that information and it takes a while. Okay, the third most important thing, identify expiring YPT. Go to my.scouting and run your YPT report for your unit. If you don't know how, let us know, we'll help you. See who's expiring between now and March of next year. If you have anyone expiring, start poking them now and give them a due date where they have to get their YPT done. Because there's nothing worse than having everything done and wait for that one person who needs to update their YPT. Give them a hard cutoff date and say, you have to get it done by this date. And if you don't, I am rechartering without you. I will drop you and you will have to reapply and pay the fee separately all by yourself to be reconnected. It works. I've done it. So give it a try. That will make life easier for you now. So let's see. Membership inventory, YPT, and identifying your recharter champion. Those are the things you can start with now. The fourth thing that you need to think about now is, where is your money for recharter? All right. Where is your money? Do you need to hold a fundraiser? Because now is a good time to do that. We've got popcorn going on. If you aren't going to be making enough, if you're selling popcorn and realizing, oh, we're going to come up short, do I need to run another fundraiser? You've got between now and November to run another fundraiser. Start asking. If you don't have the money and you know you're going to have to ask your families, ask for it now. Don't wait till December when they have no money from holidays. Ask them now for the recharter money. Make sure you have it budgeted for now, because that's another thing that holds people up. So those are the things that you can start with now. And then when we have our recharter information comes out and we talk about it, you will be ready to go. And recharter, I promise you, can take 5 minutes to do if you've got all this done ahead of time, because I've done it and I know it can happen. So if you have any questions, let us know. If you need any help finding anything, let us know. We're here, we'll help you. And I see Chris has been dropping all kinds of comments in there. If someone joins now in the next few weeks, will they have to pay again at recharter? Yes. I'm gonna let Chris, why don't you come off of mute and explain that one.
Hello. I'll turn my video on too. So when you join Scouts in the middle of a year, your membership fee should be prorated for the number of months remaining through the end of basically your charter, through the end of the year. And then you have to pay again when the recharter happens. So to make it easy, some units might want to, if Scouts are joining later in the year, have them pay for this year and next year if you charge your Scouts membership fees or whatever upfront, rather than have them write a check twice. You could do it together, like Justin said.
The online system will collect the prorated national fee and the 25 new Scout fee if it applies, and a prorated Scout life fee. All of that's already built into the online applications. At some point, late October, early November, you should have all of your applications in so you do not screw up this process. Get them in before mid-October, because sometime late October into November, the online system automatically switches and collects the rest of 22 and all of 23. So know that if somebody files one like November 1st, they are going to be paying for 14 months. So get those applications in now and get them processed soon so that you don't have to worry about that.
All right, thank you both. So yes, recharter is something that we think about in August so that it goes smoothly. Those of you with your problems with your charter, Catholics charters or United Methodist charters, you can still do these things to get ready, and we'll figure it out as we go. All right, thank you.
All right, so this month's breakouts is the same for both Scouts BSA and Cub Scouts. So it is the same video for all of us. And then we will break out into separate rooms, one for Cubbies and one for Scouts BSA. And that way we can really target the conversation to specifically our units. So, and this is on recruitment, not yet.
Okay.
We're watching the video together.
Well, don't pick it yet then. All right, we'll watch the video.
Well, because you're blocking my screen.
I got rid of it. Sorry.
Okay, here we go.
Welcome to this month's Roundtable. Recruiting is a year-round activity and is vital to a healthy, successful unit. Our goal as adult volunteers is to serve and positively impact the lives of as many youth in our communities as possible. And there are many new tools and techniques available these days to reach a wider audience of families. Today, we'll show you how to build your own recruiting campaign with 5 simple steps. We'll also share some resources to help you easily build a successful recruiting season. Okay, let's get to work. First, we need to understand our audience. Who in the household makes the decisions that a youth will join Scouting? For older youth, this may be a joint decision between the youth and their parent, but for a younger youth, mothers usually have more influence on the decision. Our recruiting materials should reflect what parents most want for their kids, such as leadership opportunities, life skills development, or Eagle Scout related scholarships, and the most common questions they have about Scouting, like cost or safety. The other item we need to do is decide before we develop our promotion plan is how to measure our campaign in order to understand if our efforts are working. Some of the things we can measure are social media engagements. Facebook Analytics makes it easy to track likes, comments, shares, and visits to an event page. We can use QR codes on flyers, yard signs, or posters to track click-through rates. We can track opens and click-through rates on emails. And for events, we can track attendees and new Scouts through signups. If we see a recruiting event is not measurably providing success, we can adjust our techniques and try again. QR codes and direct links are particularly effective for recruiting, especially if they send families directly to your unit's sign-up page on beascout.org. So before you begin your campaign, it's also important to make sure the information on your beascout.org pin is up to date. Now that we know who our audience is and how to measure our campaign, we can start working on our promotional plan. Here are the 5 key elements. Step 1, create a Facebook calendar event. You should have an internet presence for your recruiting event and a Facebook calendar event to have an effective recruiting campaign. The calendar provides an easy way to invite people to a unit recruiting activity or information event in a format familiar to them. And it's easily shareable. Step 2, boost the calendar event. After creating your event, you can boost it. Boosting, or paid advertising on Facebook, is a powerful and cost-effective tool to targeting specific groups of people within a limited geographical area. This is also known as geofencing. In addition to geofencing a specific neighborhood, also consider geofencing around schools, parks, family-oriented restaurants, and sports venues. Step 3, launch your own social media campaign. Consider also doing a 3 to 6 week social media campaign to build awareness of your unit in your community. You'll find a customizable 6-week schedule of posts ready to use in the BSA Brand Center. Posting consistent content to your unit's social media pages will increase awareness and engagement and attract potential members. Step 4, go hyperlocal with flyers, yard signs, and posters. It's a good idea to customize your flyer, poster, or yard sign with your unit's information and a QR code to your social media account, joining event, or beascout.org landing page. Check out the BSA Brand Center for customizable, ready-to-print materials. Post flyers and yard signs at your local schools, libraries, grocery stores, family restaurants, school supply stores, outdoor gear stores, and other places your target audience frequents. Check for permission before posting on private property. Step 5, mobilize your scouting families. Get everyone involved. Share your plan with your unit families and ask them to take ownership of a specific action item. They can also leverage their connections and promote your unit in school organizations and other organizations to which they belong. They can help drop off or post flyers and share your unit's social media content on their own personal social media networks. An effective recruiting campaign is a well-planned team effort. Please take the rest of this time to discuss the questions on screen, and thank you for all you do for scouting.
Alrighty. So 3 questions. What key elements made your last recruiting campaign successful? How have you used geofencing in your campaigns? And how have you involved your unit's families in your recruiting campaign? So
The breakout rooms are open. Breakout rooms are open. There's one for Cubs and one for troops. So go to your appropriate breakout room and we'll see you there. So I usually am with the troops, but I get to be with the Cubs today. Yay! All right. So our questions based on the video let's start with number 1. So what key elements made your last recruiting campaign successful? So if you had a recruiting campaign and it went well, what made it go well? Nobody had recruiting, or it went poorly.
We did. It went well.
You did. What'd you do? What made it go well?
The schools finally let us back into curriculum nights, and we had enough volunteers to cover 5 schools in 2 nights. So
awesome.
Yeah, we will say ditto to that for our unit. That same exact.
So did you actually get parents willing to stop at an elementary school during curriculum night? Because I've heard that it is usually they just want to get out of there.
they actually stopped and talked. It worked out pretty well. I think everyone was just so excited with the idea of having like a normal curriculum night that they kind of were soaking it all in. The Girl Scouts kind of beat us out a little bit because they brought candy. We did not. So they got a little bit more foot traffic, lesson learned. But one thing we did though, we followed up 1 week later with a new family orientation. We just called it Cub Scouting 101 because we're Pack 101. And we set up computers and people signed up that night. We had an activity for the kids, advertised it on Facebook, let everybody know who stopped by the tables. It worked out really well. So
I
we got
like
a bunch
that you had computers there to sign up there.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
That's
that worked
smart.
out well.
For those that don't have access to like 7 computers, also consider flyers with your QR code that you can get directly to your pin so they can scan it and fill it out on their phones as well. I've heard
We
it's
have one
fairly
coming
easy to
up
do.
on the 23rd, and that's what we have. We actually have laminated QR codes, little squares of paper
Yeah.
that say, you know, scan this and sign up. But we also did go to a school event too. We had a back to school event at our school, and we brought the rain gutter regatta, which was a huge hit, and
Cool.
suckers. So it worked out well. Handed out like 150 flyers.
That's awesome.
That's
150
awesome.
flyers and 800 suckers. No.
Yeah. Nope, that was exactly it.
We got the ability to get into the schools about maybe 24-ish hours before the curriculum nights. The principals actually responded to us and we got in. But we were able to get our flyers with our QR codes, and then on the back we put the QR code for the Facebook group. So we got a bunch of new people that started following us on the Facebook page, and then from there we've had a pretty steady stream of people looking in. And I think the more success about the curriculum nights, maybe particularly this year, is because I had a lot of moms that we were talking to that they're like, we got to get them in something. They need to be in something. So they're looking for something and being present and basically being like, we're here, you know, come on in. And you know, being able to ask about the calendar or the schedule or the expectations, like I think it kind of lended pretty well. And we had a pretty good, strong response of recruitment coming in so far. We've had 17 new cubbies within the past 2 months, and more still that keep showing interest. So we're starting to wonder about, oh, okay, we budgeted for 35, now we're at 42. So we're kind of excited for the good problems that it's bringing us that we'll have to face then.
Awesome. So 17, that's fantastic. Justin, how many did you have sign up on the computer while they were there?
We had 6 that signed up
Wow.
that night. So
I think that's the key, is to have the sign up right there and then and there. That's awesome. Okay, cool. All right. So first of all, have any of you used geofencing in an online campaign? I see
Doing that
Erica
currently.
Huh?
Currently for our event coming up on the 23rd.
Currently, okay. So how is that going for you? Like with the geofencing that you're using?
It's easier to share and reaches more people.
Okay. Have you had any like people have pop up and say, "Oh yeah, I didn't know that was happening," or I'm just curious? No. All right, that's the question they wanted me to ask, so I'm asking it.
Well, we did one at a council level, and we got a Facebook social media professional to help us. And one of the things she said that, Becky, you're doing it exactly right, is to point them to a specific event. So it's really hard to gauge the success today, but the day of that event, you will know. And I usually have, I think there is on the resources a sign-in sheet, and it asks, how did they hear about the event? So you can also see from there, did they see it? And then you'll be able to know, was it an effective campaign? If you're just generally saying, join PAC XYZ, it's really hard to gauge how effective it was. And I know for our council-wide one, it wasn't super effective because we had like 10,000 hits, but like, I feel like 4,000 were me. So it's really hard to gauge the effectiveness until you see how many people actually show up to your event. You know, I fit the key demographic we were looking for, so yay, but I was already coming to the event. So
I have used geofencing a lot with my troops. I have used it, and I've gotten a couple new scouts from come visit our meeting. And I've done it for when we run fundraisers, and I'll push out a targeted ad for fundraisers. And we absolutely have people come because they saw the event pushed out through the ad. So like Melissa was saying, an event to invite the public to, it works really, really well for pushing it out to an area. So I tend to put it within 10 miles of where we're located, which is fairly big circle. And I'll usually run it for about a week. And that can get like 20 bucks, 30 bucks, depending on how many days, and it'll reach several thousand people. So that is pretty good to use. And if you need help with it, just reach out and ask.
I'll say I'm pretty new with the geofencing thing. I just learned what the word means within the past week or so. But I've been trying, I found that calendar that you were showing earlier of all the pre-made like posts, you know, for recruiting and all. And I started using that on our Facebook page. I've done 2 so far, but what I've also done I think it falls under the definition of geofencing is, but like sharing it to the specific community groups, like People of Shorewood, Moms of Shorewood, you know, Parents of Troy 30C, because they are a chartered org or not. And I've shared that, and it's gotten the posts that we put have over 1,000 hits or whatnot. And some of the latest recruits that I've seen do list social media as where they've found us so far. So
and then there's another one for that last question of how do you get your families engaged? Because I'm guessing there's like Moms of Shorewood that Michael's probably not in, but there's probably a mom in his pack that is. So engaging your families to share your events, I think, is a great way to spread the word. And, you know, that's free. You don't have to spend $20 for your parents to spam their Facebook groups.
In the comments, Darby and Dave has said what is Cub Scouts about? Virtual meeting, and had 25 parents show up. That's a fabulous idea. That's because it's virtual. They don't have to leave the home. They want to know more. You do a geofencing ad, and it's just a parent info, like answer the question, what is this all about? Love that. That's a great idea, especially for Cubs.
Yeah, that was one of the special gifts that COVID gave us, was the ability to do these virtual meetings. And I talk about all the time, you know, Plainfield, we used to go to those school supply drop-offs, and COVID happened and we couldn't get in. So we did a virtual one, and there was a 5th grade teacher. I've been at that school every year for like 7 years doing this. And a 5th grade teacher had no idea there was a PAC meeting right there because she was always upstairs. She came to our virtual meeting. I think she was making dinner while she was listening, and her son signed up. So
awesome.
Those virtual ones can be really good.
All right, I want to keep us moving forward. We have one more question. It was, how have you involved your unit families? So not necessarily your like committee members, but your everyday general families. How have you involved your unit families in recruiting campaigns? Have you utilized that? I'm seeing blank faces.
I'll say that's one that go ahead.
Erica, go ahead.
We just did in our town, we had a Liberty Arts Festival, and they had reached out to us to put up a booth, and then they did crafts and arts. And so my Cubs, we did marshmallow poppers with noodles and balloons, and the kids got to decorate them, and marshmallows were everywhere, but we of course picked them up because we couldn't leave any traces. But it was a blast. My husband cut 300 little pieces of noodle, pool noodles, and I think we got rid of 200 of them. We had about 5 families that were interested. 3 of them showed up to our first den night last Friday. And I just had my families sign up for 1 hour increments to work so that I wasn't there the whole time. and we covered the whole time. And I don't have a very big pack right now. That's my goal. I just became Cub Master, and so we are working on that. It was kind of cool to we had that, and then the next day, ironically, we did popsicles in the park, and I pushed it out on Facebook to all, like you were saying, all the different groups that I belong to, and I'm have so many friends that push it out into their groups. And we had a family come up. We were just sitting at the park, and the little boy came up and said, I'm interested in Scouts. And so then the little sister, we started talking, and she's like, well, I want to do it too. And so we actually have 3 girls that are interested because their brothers are coming. They came on last Friday, and I got messages from 3 families that the sisters now want to come this Friday. So I was a little excited for that.
So that's awesome. So asking your families who might not be leaders to help you run like recruiting events definitely takes off some of the weight from the leaders to do stuff.
It's also a good thing at the schools. If it's schools that your kids don't go to, it's better for the kids to see kids at their own school. So if they're going to be there anyway for curriculum night or handing out supplies, it's good to have them there too.
Well, when you're a teacher, it's kind of hard to get into the other schools, but I have maybe sent flyers in with my boys because they go to a different school, and they've been passing out flyers. So that's how I've been working that around, and some of my families have taken flyers in.
Yeah, so that's great. Asking families to do the lifting and to take the flyers in is a great idea instead of asking all the leaders to do the work. So think about what can you do to involve just your families to help you recruit. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, go recruit someone. Give them a task. Give them something that they can do to help. So that's pretty awesome. All right. Did we have any other questions about this recruiting? This whole recruiting scheme that is laid out, because that's National's hope that they're pushing out on how to plan some recruiting events. All right, now
just don't forget Adventure On Day, because all these recruiters and new scouts get to come. Anyway, shameless plug.
Shameless plug, right? Do we have any questions about anything? This is the part where if you've got any questions about anything in general, scouting, council, national, whatever, throw them at me.
So after we get Red Scouts recruited in and they're part of the pack, they're coming to join, do we have any council or national resources, such as like the recruiting resources that are also then already made for us to not recreate the wheel as we try to do the welcome to the pack?
Yes.
And get them started and moving around?
Yes, but the volunteer membership resources has it all just for you. What is scouting, calendaring, surveys at the end of the year? It's all there for you, Michael. It's all there.
Okay. I'm still getting used to where everything is. So
yeah, if you're new, there are flyers that explain here's how it works, here's what you need to do, here's your next step. There's even flyers like you can check off, these are the uniform parts you need to go buy, everything, it's all there. Melissa's assembled it into one spot too, so make sure you check out that webpage that she dropped in earlier. Cool. Justin, I saw you come off your microphone. Do you have a question?
Yeah, quick question. Melissa answered this in the chat and said council is not charging a fee. She said $0 for the fee. Yeah. For some reason, I have it in my head the council used to charge $3 on top of.
Not the fee, that's the insurance. So that's the that's different. That's an insurance charge. So that you can count on that. That's $3 per person, and it's added into your total. And that just covers insurance for the year. What she's talking about is there's no additional fee. So when you sell popcorn, goes to council to cover all of council's expenses. And if people aren't selling popcorn and they're doing other fundraisers and are not donating back to council won't have enough funds to run. So most councils charge an extra fee on top of I'm explaining for anyone who doesn't know. And it can be like $200 per person to run the council and pay everybody's salaries that works for councils and pay for camp. Rainbow doesn't. So we're trying really hard not to, but that means everybody needs to.
Yeah, Rainbow is one of the, I mean, I don't have any facts to back this up, but from what I've tried to see across different councils and stuff, Rainbow Council is like super lean, right? Like if you look at staff, there isn't a lot of staff, right? And so there's a lot of work that like volunteers have to do. And the combination of like popcorn and FOS, Friends of Scouting, are like the two main sources of funds for council besides like our endowments. And there used to be a lot of money coming in from United Way, and I think that's tapered off or maybe even disappeared.
If you like having resources and if you like having a scout camp, make sure that if you are not selling popcorn, that you are either raising a fundraiser and donating some back to council, or you are making sure your families donate generously at Friends of Scouting. Otherwise, Rainbow will eventually have to add a fee, and we don't want that to happen. So that's
There's a lot of units that don't participate in popcorn, and if you're not, I would really heavily encourage taking like a regular pancake fundraiser, spaghetti fundraiser, even candy bar fundraisers, and think about, can you siphon off 10, 15, 20% to then donate to Friends of Scouting and kind of make up the difference in popcorn.
Stays at council. It doesn't, when you donate for Friends of Scouting, it doesn't go to national, it stays right at our council.
Okay, so the insurance fee is staying the same this year. It's $3 plus the 75.
Yes.
So the total.
There's a $100 recharter fee for national this year. So that's going up as well.
Charter.
Yes, for the charter. So
Not
there's a
per
$100 charter fee, $3 insurance fee, and then the increased youth fees, and then the same fees for adults, and then an increased Scout Life fee. So there are some increases, but still council is still at zero. National allows us to charge up to what we charge for members, but Rainbow Council still has chosen to charge zero. So
thank you, Rainbow.
For now,
Any
FOS and popcorn are very sad. So hopefully 2023 will be better there, and we will continue to fight this fight to not have a Rainbow Council fee.
It's really interesting too, because like Wapilanaswa really sells a lot of popcorn compared to Ishkote, but Ishkote really brings in a lot of FOS donations compared to like, so it's like each district kind of provides funds in a certain way. It'd be great if they were able to even out and provide the flip side to that to help fund council more.
All right, we're running out of time here. I don't want to keep anyone too long. Any other questions? General?
I would say, if no one has any questions, really think about how recruiting extends from bringing in new Cubs to keeping the scouts and getting them into a troop. So making sure that you're coordinating those AOL requirements and meeting with multiple troops and giving those scouts the opportunity to kind of test the waters, because a lot of the Cub Scout activity is driven by whatever the parents make the scout do. Make the Cub do, but when they get into Scouts BSA and the troop, that's where the parents like, stop coming, and then the Scouts kind of stuck making friends and making sure that patrol works. And if it's not the right troop for them, they don't end up sticking with it. So really getting to that troop that provides the right level of activities, the right level of camping, the right level of push on awards and advancements, keeping those Scouts in.
All right, thank you, Chris. If you've got, as always, if you've got any questions, just tap Azariah on the shoulder, or Chris, or Ryan, and we'll let you know. We'll try and get you the answers. Or Melissa, it's recruiting. Yeah. Melissa can help you.
The membership resources page has the membership email right at the top. If you have any questions or wish there was a resource, it's right there.
All right, thank you all for coming. Next month is October, and our October roundtable is in person in Bolingbrook, and there will be fun and shenanigans if you're able to attend. we're also going to do some fun troop trailer show and tell. So I know you guys are Cub Scouts, but if you're all interested, because there are some packs that do have trailers, feel free to join us, and you'll still have all the rest of the normal roundtable stuff that we enjoy. Otherwise, I will see you in November if you don't see you in October. Thanks. Have a good night.
Bye.